As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Another fantastic day, another fantastic run, another fantastic time of year. Seeing that, recording this on a Friday, I believe is December 6, 2024. Tomorrow, gonna be witnessing championship football. A lot of conference championship games. College football, I'm referring to. If you're a regular consumer to my work, you already know that's where I was going with it. And today, actually, the live stream, Tackling Turnover Teamwork, where I have a whole hour to really talk details and explain context and the backstory to a lot of the things that I talk about, to how I've been able to learn the business through the world of college football and innovative teamwork and all the things I'm about. I'll be tackling all three of my seasons as a college football player, all three of these seasons that ended in championship rings, with me earning championship rings as a team. All right, so as far as today's Move Swiftly thought, it's important that I tell you guys now why or when it's time to hang up the cleats, when it was time for me to actually hang up the cleats. And I'm telling you this for the reason I'm telling you this is because we're currently in a time in which that decision is going to have to be made by a lot of different people, because there's a lot of jobs open, a lot of jobs being filled, a lot of positions being filled, a lot of people being let go, a lot of decisions to be made in this time of year. And this isn't just college football. It's a lot of decisions to be made this time of year every year, seeing that it's a new year, there's new goals, new projections, new quarters, new things. Just everything is so brand new this time of year. You have to have it within yourself, have the goals within yourself, and have the intuition within yourself to figure out, okay, what's going to be the next phase? What's going to be the next thing? What's going to be your focal point as you head in to a new chapter? All right, that needs to be working up inside of you. And when it was time for me to hang up the cleats and no longer play football, it was actually during a practice. I'll never forget it, because it was during a practice in the summer. Yeah, during the practice early that summer, I had decided that it was even though I had 2 years of eligibility left technically, but I decided that I was done after the season, because I saw the direction at this point. Well, first of all, at this point, I had known a lot about the business, seeing that I came from a Division II program and, worked in the working world my sophomore year, and then came and played at Stony Brook and, got to the Division I program that I wanted to be at and all that stuff. I had learned a lot about how the business works, and, playing the game felt so like, I wasn't serving the game the best way I knew how to by just simply playing. All right, there was that. And then there was the fact that I went in to that fall season expecting to be the starting fullback. I actually started at fullback during that spring. Excuse me. And then immediately I was replaced by somebody else who was a better player, was a better option. However, the process of him being the starter was not a process that I was a fan of, seeing that there was no real competition, there was no real evaluation process. And technically, there was an evaluation process during the spring when they saw me on film. They evaluated me during the spring, and then they brought somebody else in to start at fullback. I still made the travel squad that year and all that, but there were certain things that I felt very slighted about in terms of just where I was in the location. And then when you add in the fact that I was getting older, I was already in my fourth year of college, and then they were bringing they had another younger guy come in who was a tight end. He's a tight end and a fullback, so he could do both. So there was really going to be no use for someone who can only play one position, all right? And again, I say all that not because, I just gave up on it, I quit on it, but I understood the business and understood how recruiting works. And as a team, as a coach, you have to bring in the best people for the position that you're looking to fill. And it's better if you can bring in someone who's, number one, who's younger, and number two, can do more than one thing. I was just a fullback. They weren't trusting me in the passing game. They were only trusting me in the run game here and there when the game was pretty much with one play, versus this guy, his name was Tanner, Tanner was a tight end. He could jump in at fullback. He could do some things in the passing game. So it made them a whole lot more flexible as a play caller and calling plays and things like that. That's why he was more of a valuable player. Now, the other two players who were just fullbacks, one was from Jersey and the other one was from Queens, both bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic than I was, and they just wanted them. They were bigger bodies at that particular position. Now, I'm gonna be 36 years old in about a month now, and I'm not here. I don't have resentment to the coaches or anything like that. I made the decision to be at a smaller school that did things that way, and they had to do things that way because they're a smaller school, and they just had to work with what they got. So when I started taking the disappointments like that and finding the silver lining and figuring out what I could learn through hardships, that's when I realized, hey, the game playing, I need to be looking more intellectual. I need to be looking in a way, I need to be using the game in a way where I can apply it to some sort of a business, because I realized how I really wasn't that disappointed. Obviously, yeah, you want to get out there and play on game days, but when you really look at the grand scheme of things and you look at where most of these guys, especially at a school like mine, very few of them are even going to have an opportunity to play in the NFL. So all of us were on to other bigger and better things and figuring out what we wanted to do for our careers and our jobs and things of that nature. And when I started to realize how the game worked, quote unquote, in the coach's side, that's when I made the push to sort of get into more coaching. That spring I helped out in the offices by doing film and all that kind of stuff. And that's really what it's all about. When it's time to hang up the cleats, when your interest starts to go into other things and you're not really in it, your heart's not in it as a player as much as it is in something else that may have opened the door. Some door might have cracked for you where you saw this and you saw how that happened, and then that sparked your interest and that gave you the same feeling that you get before a game and all that kind of stuff. And this is why I use the word intuition to start this video, is only you are going to know exactly what that is. So it's important for you to pay attention to those things, and don't let just playing a game, don't let that be the end all be all for you, because it's not going to last. I don't give a damn who you are. You could be me or you could be damn Tom Brady. At some point, you're going to be a very young man or young woman and you cannot play the game anymore, but there's still ways that you can contribute and be involved and do things that are very, very, very positive and very productive in society, all right? All that being said, tap in with me on the live stream, tap into the Patreon link, patreon.com/as144, makeyourmove.com, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.